Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
And now for a devotional song. It will be sung this evening by Swami Umananda, accompanied by Rajneesh. It was written by the mother of our ashram, Sri Swami Lalitanandji. It is entitled, O Thou Divine Wisdom.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, this chapter 3, it is entitled Karma Yoga. And verse number is 20. The topic is, question has been asked by Arjuna that goal of life is to attain nishkamata. Let's see. Let me give you a different sequence. Samata, nishkamata, niskriyata. Samata means mind that is always tranquil. That's the goal of life. Until your mind don't have that state, you have to go on shaking your head from birth to birth. One head will not be sufficient. So that's until you attain that type of head, samatha. But in order to have that samatha, your heart must have nishkamata. No desires in your heart, all desire fulfilled. And your hand should have the sense of having done everything that is to have been done. Nishkriyata, nothing left to be done. So that's the ultimate goal, with 3 fingers, with 3 centers. The center at Manipur Chakra, Nishkriyata. If Karma Granthi is related to, in Kundalini Yoga, at your navel center, solar plexus. And the next center is your heart center, the center for your all feelings and sentiments. The third center is between your eyebrows. Agya Chakra is the center for intuitive knowledge. Humorously, I have given you Bijakshara, Dat, Hat, Fat. That means become firm. Your firmness depends upon your control over impurities, malas, anger, hate, greed, jealousy, and all those things that make the whole world spicy. No more spices. When you have come to that type of attainment, you do not have slightest doubt about whether will I reach the goal or not. You are firm like a big tree. And that's called dat. Firmly rooted. But if you are firmly rooted, then all troubles that create so much distraction in your mind, so many monkeys jumping upon so many branches, and worse is still, lots of devilish forces. What happens to that? Hut. They move away. And then finally the veil of ignorance, fat, tears up. So that hurt fat. That's your goal. And the philosophical terminology behind it, niskriyata. You do not have any dependence on karma, action. The knot of karma has been removed. Nishkriyata. Nishkamata. No desires, absolute desirelessness. Samata. Absolute equanimity. That state of vision that doesn't see any difference. If you are dreaming, you are seeing so many differences. A world where mosquitoes are important, spiders are important, and you are ups and downs and so many things. But try to be mature, move away from that and try to see what happened in your dream. Nothing else. Who is reality? You. You became everything, and we are blaming somebody else. That's a bigger truth. Deep at your root source of your consciousness is nothing but the divine self. That is what you are. If that understanding has developed, then you have acquired all the three levels. That is to say, you have removed, you have purified your impurities. Malas have moved away. You have controlled distractions of your mind. Mind, instead of going wild in many directions, there's only one way to go, attaining liberation. And the veil of ignorance that has constantly caused you to be distant from your goal. The veil of ignorance is just like the sky. Look up and you see the blue sky. But astronomers don't look at the blue sky. They look through their telescope, and their mind wanders into billions of light years. What I'm trying to say, your ignorance is another way of saying limitation in your vision. Your eyes can't go, you cannot penetrate beyond a certain limit. So beyond that, what you see is a blue sky. Nature has so planned that you don't see anything horrible. You see just soft blue sky. I will not go into detail in that area, but that's ignorance. Ignorance doesn't have any reality, but it's a veil of illusion. Now, since that has been highlighted for attaining liberation, Arjuna asked the question, then why are you leading me to this ghor karma, this terrible action? It is presented in the form of a battle. Battlefield of the Gita is an allegorical presentation of life. Your life is a constant battle. And it's terrible. And the message of Krishna had been, don't run away from this battle. Fight. Follow your duty. And Arjuna says, why? Since the goal is to be just relaxed, no handiwork, no karma, nothing to desire, Just stay rid of all mala, vikshepa and avarana. Just adopt a path of inaction, doing nothing. Because always you hear karma causes all the problem. The mind gives a quick answer. No karma now anymore. I will shut my door and that's it. But that is not the solution. Solution is only through karma, effort. If you rid yourself of effort literally, you cannot gain that effortless state. Only by performing action, but not all types of action, performing your duties with a special insight that turns your work activities, turns your duties as karma yoga. Through your performance of duty, you are serving God. You are practicing austerity. You are sublimating your negative into positive. So performance of action has a dynamic value. So do not develop that idea that when you are in big trouble, let's find an ashram where there is no activity. Look into Google where there is no activity. And you will find there are caves, there are shrines where people can simply sit there, do nothing. But that shouldn't be. Because if you do, you are with bigger trouble. Because all your problems are just now hiding like those bears in a soft, with soft snow all on top of it, hibernating. कर्मणैव संसिद्धिम् अस्थिता जनकादय लोकसंग्रहमेवापि संपश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि. Janaka and others attained perfection by following the yoga of action. The example is now being given. People have their ancient stories of sages like Valmiki who continued in one position, and so much so that a lot of termites develop in their body, in his body. All those descriptions are allegorical. So do not become distracted by those descriptions. But there are descriptions of personality like King Janaka, who ruled his kingdom, and ruling a vast kingdom and handling so many things. In spite of all that, he was videha. Videha means he was not identified with body consciousness. He was rooted in the state of enlightenment. Aham Brahmasmi. I am that am I. That is the ideal of attainment. When the goal is attained, that is the ideal aspect of the goal. Your mind should not develop the idea that when I attain the goal, I don't care for the world. The world will go to hell, fine. But I am perfectly. If that is the idea, then you are far from attaining the goal. But if you move with the idea that you are causing upliftment in society. As you rise, you are paving the way for people to be free of their miseries by following your example. If you have that type, and that allows your heart to develop more strength and inspiration, that I am causing all this by Godward movement. Again, every statement is allegorical. It should not have any touch of vanity or ego. How great am I? I'm helping all these people. No, rather a deep understanding. The more surrendered you are to God, the more egoless. You are more like a flower that wafts dynamic fragrance. Without your knowing, you are helping countless people. In the beginning, you will have the awareness of how good does it feel if your existence is calming, inspiring, and graceful. How good does it feel? Now magnify it. Lead to limitless level. In that category, you have King Janaka, you have Shankaracharya. In modern times, we have Vivekananda and many personalities. Shankaracharya constantly highlighted that nothing is real. Brahma Satyam Jagana Mithya. You would have expected him to sit down and stay quiet, having said everything is. But there was not a day, not an hour, that he kept himself without activity. In a very short duration of his life, he wrote lots of literature, profound poems with tremendous inspiration. And he made a trip to promote spiritual knowledge, held lots of discussions. So where was the time for him to sit down and say Brahma Satyam? And while doing all that, absolute calm. Human personality is mysterious. When you are involved in joyous activity, internally you really relax. But when you have no activity, internally you bang a drum, it's called boredom. Now, the scriptures give the illustration of King Janaka. Some divine spirit wanted to test King Janaka. And while he was in his royal quarter, in a higher level, he could see around him through the window, royal window. Now this spirit created an illusion of fire everywhere and told King Janaka that your entire kingdom is on fire. Just to test him, what will happen to his wisdom, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. And King Janaka says, Mithilayam pradiptayam name dahyati kashchana. The entire Mithila is on fire. And nothing is burning within me. I am just the same. The story gives you a big scenery. But it is just a very simple message. If in your dream you come to hear the entire dream that you are seeing is going to be on fire. And if you have the awakened awareness, then what does it matter? The whole dream world is on fire. And let me further extend the explanation. It is not only that type of test given to Janaka. Nature around you is always presenting that test. All your existence is based upon your physical body. And physical body and the source of your perceptions that give you the knowledge of the whole world and past, present and future. It's just an iPad. Not as bad as a small iPad, but it is like an iPad. All your experience is defined by your brain, most peculiar looking, and your nervous system. This is your iPad. And that iPad is bringing all this great world and how certain countries are being made stable and how certain families have secured happiness for their generations. So all the big stories that keep the world completely engrossed. But all that is dependent upon what your little mind operating through your brain and nervous system. The reality in you is beyond. Find the real I am, the absolute I am. That I am is one without a second. Having found it, use your iPad. Both types, the big iPad, spiritual, Aham Brahmasmi. With that type of attainment, you are in a position to inspire people amazingly beyond any imagination. Even if you don't speak a word, your very personality will create inspiring radiations. But don't fall for that illustration. In your practice, continue to do things that will help others. Become an example. And that not with effort. Simply follow it in such a way that people become inspired, just like a flower blossoms, and the blossoming flower doesn't do much effort. The fragrance goes everywhere. Or the spring season comes in a forest. You hardly can detect how does it come. But once it has come, every part of the forest becomes dynamically, spiritually alive. That is the role of enlightenment. If you want to do the greatest good to all humanity, all the politics will not do it. It is this spiritual movement that will create a powerful move. That's why Gita constantly, yada yada hi dharmasya, whenever dharma declines, it is enlightened soul, God incarnating as an enlightened spirit. Again and again, he puts the world in order. Sage Vyasa is another great illustration. Sage who brought out all the Vedas by his intuitive knowledge and wrote so many Puranas, and yet inwardly did nothing. Skilled in nothingness. Next verse. Yadyadacharati sheshtha tattadevetaro jana sayat pramanam kurute loka tadanu vartate. Whatever a sage, one who is enlightened, whatever he does, the same is followed by others. The illustration of an enlightened sage touches the heart of countless people. Truth has that power. Falsehood has false fingers. So it becomes spontaneous. People begin to follow. And that aspect becomes highlighted in the personality of a sage. So, even if he doesn't need to do certain type of exercise, sees people, he starts doing that. Even if he doesn't need to catch his nose to practice pranayama, he will be showing with great vigor how to do pranayama, how to figure out your kundalini centers, how to raise your kundalini. All those things, he doesn't need that. But follow a simpler illustration. You may be highly educated, but when you deal with your children, forget about all your education. Rather, the more educated you are in a mature way, greater is your facility to match up in such a way with a child that the child feels he is greater than the father. He gets encouraged. See, that type of relationship. So whatever a great man does, the same is followed by others. People follow the example of Buddha, King Janaka, Sage Vyasa, all countless sages and saints. Whatever is set as an example, the same the world emulates. And simple moral behind it, that even if you don't feel that you have attained enlightenment, of course it's not a matter of feeling, that's a maturer subject. Always have a focus in your mind not to do anything that will give a bad example to people around. So, if for you in your own self can't control anger, etc., doesn't matter. Walk with people softly. Be gentle. When you go back home, beat your pillow. I'm joking. Because if you start emulating something positive, negative will not stay in your house. He will not go to beat your pillow, but rest your head on your pillow and find deep fulfillment. So that's an important point. Always understand people emulate. People are by nature monkeys. न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यम त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन नानवाप्तमवाप्तव्यम वर्त एव च कर्मणि. O Partha, I have no need to perform any work, any karma in the three worlds, because there is nothing to be attained by me. Yet I keep myself engaged in action. This is a profound implication. Krishna is avatar. His I am is not his body. His I am is Ishvara, the role of God. Now, in this entire creation, what does God gain by it? Ask yourself. Does he get thirsty? Does he need to warm himself? I'm joking. What does he gain? There are already planets like the Earth, millions of them. Countless creations, and not a single detail is missed by God. Ask these flowers, you see, every little petal has received a lot of attention. Why does he allow your nose to breathe air? What does he get out of it? And yet, every detail in the world is handled by God. The entire creation. There is no corner of the world that is excluded from God's control. He is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. There isn't a corner where his presence is not there. There isn't a corner where there is that his control is not there. There isn't a little particle that is out of his awareness that he doesn't know of. I'm giving you like a big riddle, but this simple Vedantic mathematics, Brahman alone is, and Brahman through Maya, Prakriti becomes three types. Sattva predominating Prakriti, that's known as Maya. Brahman through Maya plays the role of Ishvara, the ruler, as As Brahma creates, Vishnu sustains, Shiva destroys. All these roles are being played for no purpose of their own. But through Maya, Brahman is appearing as all this. Now, Rajas predominating Prakriti is called Avidya. Same Brahman, through Rajas predominating, expresses himself as countless souls. Souls that are in the realm of karma. They are in the process of evolution and devolution. And Ishvara has to control all that, every detail. For easy understanding, it is like sun enters into this atmosphere of the earth planet in the form of countless reflected suns, countless illuminations. And not a single illumination is forgotten by the sun. Sun plays the role of Ishvara. And this atmosphere plays the role of Avidya. Countless suns are operating. Each reflected sun has a story. And all this is operated by and sustained and supported by the sun. Not a single reflected sun is out of place. And then third point, same Brahman through tamas predominating Prakriti, called tamasi Prakriti, turns into the subtle elements and then the gross elements like earth, water, fire, air, akasha, space. And all these go through a permutation combination process to bring about the role of your mind, intellect, ego, pranas, and all your practical details, your physical body, the objects of the world, all details, every little particle of this earth is Brahman. If you come to that maturity, you won't be running around looking for Brahman. Manchanga, the Katvat Manjanga. Mind becomes highly mature. We don't go and think, oh, when will I go to the sacred place, etc. No. Every day, every moment, you are sustained by divine. And that divine is closest to you than anything in this world. That type of understanding is to be promoted. That's the purpose of Satsang. And that's the description of Jnana Yajna. Jnana Yajna is as if you are imitating God, grow in the image of God. God has created all this, and He doesn't expect anything out of it. So, start doing good deeds, and don't expect. I've been doing for 5 years this charity work. God Himself is inspiring you by His example. Yadi ham na varteyam jatu karmanya tandritah mamaratmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. O Arjuna, if I did not engage myself tirelessly in action, human beings would follow my example every way possible. So what is God doing? He's giving you example. Things to be done, he doesn't leave it for tomorrow. Everything is handled instantaneously. Tomorrow, DIN. Do it now. Give value to your present and allow your life to adopt a divine art. So you live through your life and don't collect stress, but to collect inspirational movement. But if you fall for wrong habits, every situation that could have opportunity has come, but you let me go. Tomorrow I will be in a better mood. Today's opportunity, go to Satsanga. No. Tomorrow, the weather will be a little better. And so forth. I'm giving in a joking manner, but it relates to all different types of projects you have to do. In any office you are doing, the art of handling your project and doing it in the best way possible, that makes you a yogi. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. And it allows you to develop an internal satisfaction. Same work that if you don't have the spirit of karma yoga, first you curse yourself. Why should I have to do this one? And then your mind gives you the explanation. This work will give you money. You can do many things that you like. All right, sir. So that type of activity is called sakamya karma. That's the type of mind that creates karmas. But when you develop a divine touch behind it, it's God's plan, and God has given me all the ability to handle it correctly, let me be a good channel in God's hand. And since God has presented me with this situation, He knows the meaning. He is the Father. Who is going to argue with Him? Jahi vidhi rakhe Ram, tahi vidhi rahi hai. Whichever way God has presented situation. Handle it with a spirit of humility, spirit of devotion, and understand it is He who is going to face this situation, not you. But use your instruments. Use your body, use your mind, use your hands. And along with it, enjoy an inner calm. And that will be better than all the balm. Say Ram Ram. So coming back to that, remember Kabira's song, काल करे सो आज करे सो अब, पल में परलय होएगी बहुरी करोगे कब. What is to be, what you have to do tomorrow, do it now. The literal is, do it today. And what you have to do today, do it right now. Because calamity can come in one single moment. And if that happens, you will not be able to do your project. So that type of attitude, not in a negative way, should develop in one's mind to handle your practical reality in every detail, what you have to do to your body, what you have to do with your medicines, what you have to do with this and that. All details in such a way that it follows in a rhythmic way. Your fingers handle so many notes and sounds. If you are in a attuned sur, then all that bring about melody. Otherwise, they bring melody. Same activities, same duties, same problems can bring a kind of a veena in your personality. And Goddess Saraswati takes over the whole show. On the other hand, not well understood, if spiritual movement has not been well understood by you, you are constantly living in a state of contradiction. Any difficult situation, oh, what type of bad karma did I do? How long will that karma continue? Ask astrologer. It always takes at least 5-6 years. So, instead of that, through satsanga, through spiritual maturity, to develop the understanding that God allows, God performs His duties instantaneously, without slightest defect. And you are a channel of God. Be His channel. So do not create in your mind confusion. The more you are aligned to God, the more you are surrendered to Him. And that again is a matter of progressive movement. If you fail to have that complete surrender, continue. Every step you take towards God, God takes 1,000 steps towards you. And mathematically, still you remain vast distance. I'm joking. And God as prana, the vital force, is constantly performing action in every cell within your body. That's how active He is. So don't blame Him for your troubles. He's joking. And with this I'm going to conclude now. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.